How's it going, everybody? My name is James, and in today's video, we're going to do a full in-depth breakdown of our most bullish and most bearish assets currently listed inside of the Edge Finder. So what I mean by that is we're going to not only break it down inside of the Edge Finder, we're going to look at some historical data, and we're going to look at the trading view charts and look and see if there's any potential entries. So let's go ahead and dive right into all of this. I'm going to remove these neutral biases just so that we can take a look at our bullish and bearish biases for the day. And we have two clear winners when it comes to bullish and bearish, most bullish and most bearish. We have Pound Aussie here with a very bullish bias score of 9. And we have the Aussie dollar with a very bearish bias score of -11. So two clear favorites to take a look at here, and two Australian dollar pairs as well. I can actually see a few more Australian dollar pairs in here, all of these on the sell side, and this one here on the buy side. So looks like a lot of Australian dollar weakness in the market right now, but let's go ahead and start off first by taking a look at some of the historical stuff. So I'm going to go into our historical backtest page here and pull up Pound Aussie. If you're unfamiliar with what the historical backtest is, this is a really cool page where you can see the day, all these different days, and the score that the Edge Finder gave that particular asset. So we can see basically back to January 5th here is when it got that first +5 score, and that we consider that to be a bullish bias. And ever since then, it's basically just said that it's a bullish bias. Let's go check out the chart as well. I actually already have that pulled up here. And if we go back to January 5th, actually, that would be this candle right here. I'm agreeing with the Edge Finder on this one. So here's January 5th right here. Oh, excuse me. January 5th right here. And yeah, that looks like some strong bullish momentum. And we're going to come back to this chart at the end and break it down a little bit more, look for another entry. But so yeah, historical backtest when it comes to Pound Aussie, I'm saying that, you know, it's been bullish and it certainly is bullish. So let's check out Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar was our other one that we're going to take a look at. So here is the Aussie dollar, and again, same thing. We can look all the way back to, you know, January 3rd is what we have data back to, but it first got that official sell score here on January 12th. That's when it got that first -5 score. We can see this yellow line here is actually the price chart. So we can see as price continued to drop lower and lower, and sometimes, you know, more drastically lower and lower, these scores get higher. So January 12th was the first day that we had our official sell score. Let's see if we can find January 12th here on the chart. That'd be right here on this candle. So right before this big move here, you know, it hit this level of resistance that I can extend out a little bit further here. But then we broke through that, and it's still looks like it's moving lower. But let's break down the numbers and try and figure out what exactly is causing these moves. So we'll start with Pound Aussie, go into our FX miners page here, Pound Aussie right here, market analysis, free trading courses, Edge Finder data, and special offers. What do these things all have in common? They're all available for you right now inside of our free Discord. You can click the link down in the description below to join the free Discord today and get access to all of this and more. Stay up to date with all the latest trading information and A1 content. And if you want to upgrade to our Gold VIP Discord that features every single trade that Trader Nick and our other professional analysts take, you can find the links for that in the description as well. So don't wait, go check out the free Discord today. Very bullish score of +9. COT data is a score of +1, and retail sentiment is also a score of +1. Take a look at those numbers right over here. So currently, institutional traders or smart money traders, they are favored long on the pound right now, 63.82%, and they are favored short on the Australian dollar right now, 69.35%. So favored long on the pound overall, favored short on the Aussie overall, so that checks out. And then retail traders are currently favored short on Pound Aussie as a whole. So the majority of retail traders, 73% of retail traders trading Pound Aussie currently have short positions open right now. hoping that that thing reverses and starts moving their direction. But for us, that is a bullish indicator. Seasonality is a score of +1 as well, and we can take a look right over here in the month of February. It is now the beginning of February, but historically over the last 10 years, when you take a look at how pound Aussie trends throughout the month of February, you'll notice that historically speaking, it tends to be a positive month. And so far, we're only 2 days in, but so far that is certainly the case as well. Trend reading, a nice score of a +2. We just saw the chart certainly trending in that bullish direction. So, pretty easy to see there. And then we have some fundamental scores here. Our economy scores are 0. So are our interest rate scores, but inflation and labor market both have scores of +2. And we can see here's our economic or fundamental data down here. Currently, GDP in Australia is 0.2%. compared to -0.1% in the UK. Our MPMI number is 2.5 compared to 0.8. Retail numbers -0.43 compared to -0.46. Inflation in Australia slightly higher at 4.1 compared to just 4% in the UK. The unemployment rate slightly lower in Australia, 3.9% compared to 4.2 for the pound. And interest rates in Australia are lower at 4.35 compared to 5.25. So that's all the numbers and data and scoring backing our +9 reading, very bullish bias on pound Aussie. But let's dive back into the chart and explore this a little bit further. So what I like to do when I get into TradingView is I love these two A1 indicators that we built for TradingView. We have the extension zones indicator and the momentum indicator. The momentum indicator is a simple one. The momentum indicator essentially just notices big shifts in the market, right? You can see these little buy and sell indicators here. This just kind of helps me, realize or, I pay attention to potential big swings in the market. So like here it said buy and right, and we had this big swing here. Here it said sell, and it did drop a little bit, but here we had sell and then another big swing. This one here is, we've had a few good days in the right direction, bullish direction. So I don't know. This is definitely something I'm going to keep my eye out on. And then we can get a little bit more advanced here with the extension zones indicator. This one automatically puts these red and green zones on your chart. And you'll notice that when price hits these zones, that's basically letting you know that this is kind of an extreme move. Maybe a move so extreme that the market just needs to go ahead and correct itself. So when we're in this green zone here, that means that price is being oversold and the market needs to correct itself by getting bought. And then here, when we're in the red zones here, that is the market getting overbought. So we were oversold. We had this crazy push to the upside, overbought, and then we actually came down a little bit since then. Now we're trending in the safe area, not too overbought, not too oversold. But this is a daily time frame. Let's lower it just a little bit. I usually like to look at the 1 hour, but we'll go 4 hour and then 1 hour. So what I'm seeing here is I really like how price it hit this peak right here. It came down because it was overbought, came down, consolidated for a little bit, tested out this level of support here, and then bounced off that. And then we had a high forming here, came down, and then formed a new high here, came back down. And I'm liking the way that this is trending. I think that this looks like a good potential bullish entry here. Maybe wait and see if we pass up this high here and then start to retest a little bit, or if this is going to turn into a level of resistance. Maybe it's going to come back down again before it's going to come back up. So I would at least wait for a retest before looking for a potential bullish entry. But we are also getting that confirmation from the momentum indicator here. It likes that shift in the momentum that it's seeing right here. So pound Aussie on the long side, I'm thinking could be a pretty good move here pretty soon. The other one that we were going to take a look at was Australian dollar, US dollar, AUD USD. That was our biggest sell of the day with a score of -11, very bullish, very bearish bias. COT data is a score of -3. Retail sentiment, a score of -1. Those numbers right over here. So like we already know, institutional traders are already favored short on the Australian dollar right now, 59.35%. And then we're actually 50-50 right now on the dollar. I know that technically it is favored on the long side, but just by 2.6% essentially. And that's just not enough confirmation. That is not clear and obvious enough that institutional traders are heavily favored long on the dollar right now. So that's actually going to be a neutral score. But our recent change indicator right here actually compares COT data, the previous COT data report, to the most recent COT data report. And what we noticed there was a negative 2.2% change in the COT data, meaning that overall the Australian dollar dropped even more, went even more short on the Australian dollar from the last report to the most recent report, where we had a positive 0.37% here on the US dollar. That means that it was slightly more bullish than last time. So from the last report to the most recent report, in the most recent report, institutional traders were slightly more bullish than they were previously on the dollar, but they were definitely more bearish on the Australian dollar than they had been previously. Our seasonality is a score of -1. We can see here in the month of February that, again, historically speaking, over the last 10 years, when you look at how the Aussie dollar trended throughout the month of February, typically it trends bearishly. Trend reading is a score of -1. And again, we already saw the chart. It is certainly trending in a downward direction. Finally, our fundamental scores, a lot of red here. We have -2 for economy, -2 for inflation, -2 for labor market, and just +1 for interest rate. So we already went over all those Australian dollar numbers right here when we went over pound Aussie. So I'll just read off these US dollar numbers. Currently, we have 3.3% GDP growth, 2.8 MPMI, 0.3 for retail, 3.4 inflation, 3.7 unemployment. That's actually a brand new number that came out today on Friday with that NFP report. The Edge Finder does get updated. It's constantly checking for new data. So when new data is coming out, the Edge Finder is updating to be as accurate and up to date as possible. So new NFP report today, unemployment dropped from 3.8% down to 3.7% today. And lastly, interest rates, 5.5% currently on the US dollar. Does not look like Jerome Powell and the Fed are going to cut rates in March like a lot of people believed that they would. Could finish up here by taking a look at the Aussie dollar chart here. Again, we're on the daily chart, and yeah, this thing has been trending down for a while. And in fact, I had this little level of support marked up, and today we absolutely busted through that with that big NFP report. That NFP report was huge today. It was way better than expected, and caused the markets to just go absolutely crazy. So big NFP report caused us to just slam through this level of support here that we had been testing for a while. You can see all these days kind of consolidated, touching this level of support, but today we finally broke through. So that could be a good sign for lots of bullish momentum in the future. Here's the 4-hour chart. So you can see on this first big 4-hour candle here, we moved into that level of support, but then on the most recent 4-hour, we totally broke through it. Now, here is something to pay attention to, though. Was that move too strong? Because according to our extension zones indicator, we are entering into that oversold zone. So as strong as this move may be, the market may just have to correct itself a little bit before it can continue to move further. So that's something to pay attention to as well. Let's move it down to the 1-hour chart. And there you go. You can see it again. We're really starting to get into this oversold move. This move is so strong that the market may just have no choice but to correct itself. We have actually moved past these lows here, which I think is a good sign for overall bearish momentum. So if I had to guess, I would say that because we're selling off so hard, price is probably going to rebound just a little bit. We're going to probably come near this level of resistance now, and then if price is going to continue to move lower, we'll bounce off that and start heading down towards the 6400s or 6446 range here. That would be my guess, but we'll just have to wait and see, because again, this is a really strong sell-off, and whenever things move like this, a lot of the times they correct themselves before continuing in the trend. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want the Edge Finder for yourself, if you like all the information and data that you are seeing here, or the indicators as well, the indicators are for sale as well, the ones that you just saw on TradingView right there. If you want any of that stuff, you can find it on our website, a1trading.com. You can also look down in the links in the description below. We have a lot of useful links down there as well. And if you want the Edge Finder for a discounted price, use promo code A1YT at checkout. Did you know we do a live trading show Monday through Friday with guests from all over the world? To get notified when we go live, click the bell button next to the subscribe button or check in at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have helpful, free content in the description below and on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you tomorrow.